Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning. I'm sure that has nothing to do with the Epstein files and her demanding to release them and her separating from the MAGA Trump train. Yeah, no, it's a weird news day. And here's the thing. I, along with many others, think that this is, it's a political move. It's not that she's just, stepping out of politics. No, she's stepping away from the sinking ship that is MAGA, and she's hopping on the new ship, America First, led by Nick Fuentes and the rest of the fucking Nazi groiper incel losers. So we're gonna cover Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation. It's a 10-minute video. We're not gonna watch the entire fucking thing. Don't worry, I wouldn't put you through that. Trump's reaction to it, and then also some other people who have been agreeing with this whole idea that like this MAGA civil war, it's not just going to lead to the demise of Donald Trump's career or the MAGA movement. It's going to lead to this new era of like American Nazism, especially when we have people like, you know, Trump's own family, like Trump Jr. and also J.D. Vance, all groypers. Like J.D. Vance refuses to disavow Nick Fuentes. He even defends Nick Fuentes on Twitter, despite the fact that Nick has said some of the most vile racist shit about J.D. Vance's wife in particular, and his own son. You know, Nick went on this weird-ass rant about how J.D.'s son's name is Vivek, which also Vivek Ramaswamy was probably like, hey man, what the fuck? But, you know, calls him like a race traitor and shit like that. So, J.D. Vance is a fucking weak-ass man, dude. You can't even defend your own wife and children. It's pathetic. But let's get in there. Hi, I'm Chris Valenti. It's Saturday. I don't make live videos on Saturdays. I take a little day off. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. And also, this is what real independent media looks like. It's some douchebag on the dirtbag left in his own fucking office. I got no advertisers. Never had a conversation with a billionaire or a government. So, if you do want to support this channel financially, there's a couple of ways you could do it. You can buy merch like the Democratic Socialist poster or plenty of merch down below. You can click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member. And you can become a patron on Patreon. Thank you very much for everybody who has ever donated $1. Because of you, I am capable of keeping this entire organization grassroots funded, which means nobody's ever going to be able to buy me, to get me to say some shit that I don't believe in, or to sell some fucking product that I don't give a fuck about. Thank you very much. Without further ado, let's dive right the fuck in. We're going to start off with Marjorie Taylor Greene's announcing her retirement. Or not retirement, her resignation. And there is a big difference between retirement and resignation. This just means that she's done with her current positioning.
I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C. and just never fit in. Americans are used...
Hold on. I have to pause there, sweetheart. I think one of the reasons why you're also despised is because you're like actually a fucking lunatic. You're a fucking lunatic, bro. Don't forget that don't think that we all forgot about you saying that there's Jewish space lasers melting Hawaii. You said that shit. You also called for the execution of Nancy Pelosi. You said that shit. I hate Nancy Pelosi, but I don't want her to be fucking hanged, you nutcase. And that's just like 2 examples. You're also just like blatantly Islamophobic. You're a fucking piece of shit, Marjorie. You're a fucking piece of shit.
By the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. And the results are always the same. No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman.
She's got a fucking teleprompter. Without beyond a shadow of a doubt, she has a fucking teleprompter.
The debt goes higher. Corporate and global interests remain Washington's sweethearts. American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas or just shipped overseas.
Dude, these fucking people are completely and totally against the H-1B visas. And real quick, I just want to touch up on this. I'll be fast. You should want the most skilled laborers in this nation, no matter where they're from, right? Reason being is that they can train our workers, but also if they're highly skilled, they can create more jobs. They can create businesses and they'll boost the fucking GDP. Like, I want the best scientists from all over the planet to come to the United States and to spend their time here, spend their money here, open their businesses here. Why the fuck is that a bad thing?
Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest. And the spending power of the dollar continues to decline. The average American family...
You sound like a goddamn leftist now. Is this what's going on? Especially with Trump's fucking meeting with Zoran. Is this what's going on? Are these people who have pretended to be populists for so long realizing that the actual populism is the left? Because the thing is, guys, everybody's a socialist. You might not know it yet. You might be afraid of the word socialism, but everybody's a goddamn socialist, especially in these red states. They're the people who benefit the most from government subsidies.
Family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents have to work in order to simply survive. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream.
That's
and
true.
That breaks my heart.
Guys, average home buyers, I think it was like 3 decades ago, the average age of a first-time home buyer was 30, and then for a while it was 40, and now it's 51. I might be wrong. I think it might be 59. It's either 51 or 59. It's disturbing. And then you combine that with Trump's idea for a 50-year mortgage. It's like, brother, if I buy a house when I'm 51, you want a 50-year mortgage, that means you expect me to A, live till I'm 101, and B, be a debt slave the entire fucking time. Go fuck yourself with a crazy straw, you fat orange douche.
I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first.
Bitch, in 4 years, your net worth went from 200,000 to 25 million. You don't give a shit about politics. You give a fuck about being rich and being powerful, which is why I'm calling it right now. You're hopping on the Nick Fuentes train, and I think you're going to go from Marjorie Taylor Greene to Marjorie Podcast Greene. Guarantee. I think you're going to create a podcast. You're going to collaborate with Nick Fuentes. You're going to be the face of like the old guard, right? Because Nick is like a 27-year-old fucking twink, right? I don't even know how old you are, probably 50 or some shit. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. You look fucking 50, but 50 years old. You were a typical Republican. You were on the goddamn MAGA train. Like, I think you are the yin to Nick's yang. I think that's what this is.
I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies because I believe God creates life at conception.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
And I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders. I have fought hard for that.
Yeah, when somebody says that they're like pro unborn baby, that just means that they're pro forced birth. That every woman in this nation who is pregnant, they want to force them to give birth. And that means by force. I do mean that, because even if these women get abortions, like somehow, they want to throw them in prison, right? And then in some states, they have the death penalty for murder, right? And these people want to classify abortion as murder. These people, quite literally, they want to be allowed to put a woman to death for getting an abortion. It's remarkable. Meanwhile, these same fucking people, not Marjorie because she's a woman, but these same like male lawmakers, the Republican male lawmakers, half these fucking people have like a 16-year-old side chick that they get pregnant, and I guarantee you that one's getting an abortion.
I fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations, and I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time, and we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives.
That's actually kind of true, that like when it comes to making money moves for the people, a lot of the members of the House are about to just pussy up, put up their, what is it when you're bowling? Guardrails or some shit? The bumpers. They're going to put up the bumpers because it's re-election season, right? And Marjorie was up for re-election. She would probably have gotten bodied because of her, MAGA fan base that now hates her because she has turned on MAGA.
During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass a plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies. The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster. But instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once again from both sides of the aisle on television.
You played a huge part in that. You have always played a huge part in political drama and slop content. That is like what got you a fucking career in the first place, dude.
Every single day.
Holy shit.
My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making...
That's the stupidest shit I've ever fucking heard, bro. 50% of this nation speaks Spanish. We don't have an official language, the same reason that we don't have an official fucking religion. This is the land of the free, the home of the brave. It is a nation that consists of migrants. Marjorie, I guarantee you, your fucking ancestors weren't Choctaw or Iroquois or fucking Cherokee. Your fucking ancestors probably came in for what? Let me assume. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm gonna go with somewhere in the UK. I'm gonna go with the fucking UK.
It a felony to medically trans a minor.
To medically trans, oh my
Other
God.
bills like eliminating capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home and eliminating H-1B visas just sit.
Entirely, just entirely eliminating H-1B visas. That's lunatic shit. That's the thing. This is more lunatic than Trump. This is why I think that she's gonna hop on the Nick Fuentes train. All of this shit is America First stuff. It's the fucking. Also, I have a theory, which is that "Make America Great Again" is not good for like a Sig Heil type like chant. That's what Hitler and the crowd would do. You'd say Sig, they'd say Heil, right? And I think that America First. I think it goes really well with like a Nazification. I think that is part of the reason why, especially with like the curved lightning bolt on the A and the F. Like I do think this shit is all symbolic. Aesthetics is a huge part of fascism. Aesthetics is quite necessary for fascism, and I do think that's what they're going with. America First! America First! It's very similar to the Sig Heil. You know what I'm saying? It works. Whereas Make America Great Again! It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I'll sit collecting dust. That's how it is for most members of Congress bills. The Speaker never brings them to the floor for a vote. Many common Americans are no longer easily convinced by paid political propaganda spokespersons and consultants on TV and paid shills on social media obediently serving with cult-like conviction to force others to swallow the political party talking points.
That's literally what you did your entire fucking time in the House.
Because they know how much credit card debt they have. They know how much their bills have gone up over the past 5 years. They actually do their own grocery shopping and no food costs too much. Their rent has increasingly gone up and up. They have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house. They have been laid off after being forced to train their visa holding replacement.
All right, up until she said the visa holding replacement, all she's doing is spewing out like Zohran Mamdani talking points. She's talking about the affordability crisis, which the only person who fucking brought that to the table was Zohran. This is what, dude, you're watching them like tack to the left the way that like Kamala tried to tack to the right when she thought the momentum was to the right. That was a wrong decision to make, but they're tacking to the left because they can feel the walls crumbling around the whole like far right authoritarian ideology because nobody's fucking benefiting from it. The economy is bursting. Nobody has any fucking social safety nets. Everybody's panicking about the healthcare premiums quadrupling. Fucking everybody on Snap just watch the government use them like a hostage. The walls are crumbling. The facade is weird. And whenever you're going to be in the fucking grocery store, you're going to hear, "It's a holly jolly Christmas." It's going to feel like you're in a fucking dystopian horror movie. I promise you, it's going to feel a lot fucking different this year.
The college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big six-figure salary. They see more homeless people than ever on their own community streets. They can't afford health insurance or practically any insurance, and they just aren't.
I love how her complaint about the homeless people was that people see homeless people. She said, like, people are seeing more homeless people than they've ever seen. Bitch, how about there's more homeless people than ever? You fucking evil, evil, evil woman.
Stupid. These are the people I represent and love because that is who all of my family and friends are. Common Americans. I've been blessed
Bullshit!
to represent the 14th District of Georgia for 5 years. The district is filled with some of the most wonderful, kind-hearted, God-fearing, patriotic, hardworking people you will ever meet. Good, regular, common Americans.
I hate the term God-fearing. If your religion trains you to fear your God, he is not worthy of praise.
I've worked hard to bring taxpayer dollars back home to help district needs. I impeached Biden's Secretary of Homeland after watching my constituents die as he facilitated dangerous open border invasion into America. And I led the effort to defund hard-left politically biased NPR and PBS and the corrupt
Yeah, you got rid of Elmo. Congratulations, you evil fucking troglodyte.
USAID, and I did that as chair of the
Yeah, you defunded USAID, which is literally going to be directly responsible for the deaths of 10 to 15 million children over the next 10 years. Directly responsible because we're getting rid of vaccination programs, we're getting rid of like water purification programs. It's just like straight up evil.
Subcommittee. I have fought harder than almost any other elected Republican to elect Donald Trump and Republicans to power.
You should not be proud of that.
Traveled the country for years. I spent millions of my own money. I missed precious time
You
with
spent millions of your own dollars. Bitch, why do you have millions of dollars? Why do you have millions of dollars? You're an elected official. You work for the people. Your salary's $200,000 a year. Why do you have fucking millions when you've been working there for 4 years? How'd you make the 25 million? How'd you make the fucking 25 million?
my family that I can never get back. And I showed up in places like outside the New York courthouse in Collect Pond Park against a raging leftist mob as Trump faced Democrat lawfare. Meanwhile, most of the establishment Republicans who secretly hate him and who stabbed him in the back and never defended him against anything have all been welcomed in right after the election. And I will never forget the day I had to leave my mother's side as my father had brain surgery to remove cancerous tumors in order to fly to Washington, D.C. to defend President Trump and vote no against the Democrats' second impeachment in 2021.
Yo, why would you admit that? Your mother was getting a tumor removed and you left your father at her side for Donald Trump? You're going to have to answer for that one, bro. And you get up there, he's going to be like, all right, so we got a lot of fucked up shit that you did. But this one, Marge. And you won't even say it. You're going to go, are you talking about the tumor thing? Yeah. Like, brother, you know that's so fucked.
My poor father and my poor mother, it was way too much for all of us. Through it all, I never changed or went back on my campaign promises and only disagreed in a few areas, like my stance against H-1Bs replacing American jobs.
I only disagreed a few times. I know you guys are in the MAGA cult, so you don't like when people disagree with the Fuhrer, but I only disagreed a few times.
AI state moratoriums, debt for life 50-year mortgage scams, standing strongly against all involvement in foreign wars, and demanding the release of the Epstein files. Other than that, my voting record has been solidly with my party and the president.
I'm loyal. I was such a good girl until the last 24 hours, and now I'm resigning.
Loyalty should be a two-way street, and we should be able to vote our conscience and represent our district's
The only
interests.
fucking loyalty that you should have is to your constituents, whatever the fuck. Your loyalty should be to the voters. Your loyalty should be to the people. Your loyalty should be to us. Not to fucking Donald. Not to your party. I'm so fucking tired of party loyalty, bro. Vote blue no matter who until Zoran wins the primary. You don't have, there's no party loyalty anywhere, bro. Loyalty's a fickle thing. It's not fucking real. It's like water. It takes the shape of where it is until it moves to the next fucking body.
Because our job title is literally representative. America First should mean America
Oh my God, she just dropped America First. Oh my God. Okay, no, I'm telling you. Podcast. She's showing up on Nick Fuentes' show where she's creating her own podcast. This is her tack to the alt-right.
First and only Americans first, with no other foreign country ever being attached to America First in our halls of government. Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and
Fair.
threatened by the President of the
Fair.
United States, whom I fought for.
Fair.
However, while yes, hurtful, my heart remains filled with joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged, because my self-worth is not defined by a man, but instead by God, who created everything in existence.
Shut the
You
fuck
see,
up.
I have never valued power, titles, or attention, in spite of all the wrong assumptions about me. I do
Yes, you
not
have.
cling to those things because they are meaningless and empty traps that hold too many people in Washington. I believe in term limits and do not think Congress should be a lifelong career or an assisted living facility. My only goal and desire has ever been to hold the Republican Party accountable for the promises it makes to the American people and put America first. And I have fought against Democrats' damaging policies like the Green New Deal, wide open, deadly, unsafe border policies, and the trans agenda on children and against women.
Jesus Christ, I hate when they throw this like blatant transphobic bullshit in there. Nobody's trying to fucking trans your kids. Oh my
That
God.
has brought years of non-stop, never-ending personal attacks, death threats, lawfare, ridiculous slander and lies about me that most people could never withstand even for a single day.
Dude, you called for the execution of Nancy Pelosi, dude. You are the monster that you have created.
It's been unfair and wrong, not only to me, but especially to my family, but it's been wrong to my district as well. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms. and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me.
So she thinks that a third Trump impeachment is coming. She might be right, but the thing is, impeachment means nothing. He's never stepped down from the first two.
It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better.
Jesus Christ.
If I am cast aside by the president and the MAGA political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military
Neocons, dropping neocons is like, yeah, no, she's Nick Fuentes. She's tacking. She's
war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class that can never ever relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well. There is
also this focus on real Americans, you know, I think she's trying, like, she's anti-birthright citizenship. Sorry, she's anti, like, becoming a citizen without being born here. You know, like, there's multiple ways to become a citizen. You don't need to just be born here. I think that her and Nick Fuentes are against that entirely. That, like, you can be in the United States as workers and shit, but you'll never be a citizen unless you were born on this soil. That is the Nazi-esque fucking shit that Fuentes and the America First crowd stand for.
No plan to save the world or a 4D chess game being played. When common American people realize and understand that the political industrial complex of both parties is ripping this country apart, that not one elected leader like me is able to stop Washington's machine from gradually destroying our country, and instead the reality is that they...
Well, she's right. You can't have one savior, one lisan al-Gaib to fix everything. That is why we advocate for the people's movement, because you need the collective to understand how powerful we truly are if you want any change to happen.
Common Americans, the people, possess the real power over Washington.
You're fucking, dude, what are you? What are you? You think you're a fucking leftist? What are you? You think you're a fucking communist? You ain't one of us, bitch!
And I'll be here by their side to rebuild it.
Oh, this goes along with Nick recently saying, he's like, I'm willing to partner up with the left. I'm willing to work with people on the left, like Zoran Mamdani. Shut the fuck up. No one's ever going to fucking work with you. But, dude, they understand that the real populism has always been socialism. And it's not like always been as in the past 4 years. No, always been as in the past fucking 4,000 years, dude.
Then, I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026, and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
All right, so Marjorie resigns, and then Trump... Look at these pictures, bro. One of the pictures he posts is just straight up Zoran and FDR. Look at this. Oh my God, his own fucking base is turning on him. His own base is turning on him. This website is so buggy. Wow, they're like clearing out all the responses. Anyway. So Trump posts Zoran with FDR. He posts this. There's a couple others. I love how Zoran is like refusing to smile around Trump, despite the fact that Zoran is notoriously known for smiling in every fucking photo. Look at how giddy Trump is. Oh my God, dude, he can't help himself when he's around big dick energy, you know? Ask Bubba. Anyway, so it was a great honor meeting Zoran Mamdani, the new mayor of New York City. All right, so Trump posts this after Marjorie says she's resigning. He goes, Marjorie Trader Brown, because of plummeting poll numbers and not wanting to face a primary challenger with a strong Trump endorsement where she would have no chance of winning, has decided to call it quits. Her relationship with the worst Republican congressman in decades, Tom Massey of Kentucky, also known as Rand Paul Jr. because he votes against the Republican Party and really good legislation, did not help her. For some reason, primarily that I refused to return her never-ending barrage of phone calls, Marjorie went bad. Nevertheless, I will always appreciate Marjorie and thank her for her service to our country, President DJT. All right, so... And then it's not just that. He also made this weird fucking lie about his polls. I don't know if you guys know this. Donald Trump has almost his lowest polling numbers of all time. The only time he had lower, I think it's 33% is what he's at right now. The only time he had lower polling numbers was right after he tried to overthrow the Capitol on January 6th, overthrow the government. But so he has the lowest polling numbers he's had in a long time. And he goes, I have just gotten the highest poll numbers of my political career. While my great work on the economy has not yet been fully appreciated, it will be. Things are really rocking. Stopping wars and foreign relations seems to be a strong suit.
Also great, the border and stopping crime. I predict that the economy with the already highest stock market ever and prices coming sharply down from the Biden disaster will soon be at the top of the list. Make America great again. Again, this is because like Russ Vought and Stephen Miller are the real two co-presidents, and I think every morning they give him like a fucking bulleted list of like, Mr. President, you got the highest polling numbers of all time. And he's like, oh my god, did I really? Like I actually think he's like a bumbling fucking dipshit. Now, I've been telling you, I think that Marjorie Taylor Greene is attacking a Nick Fuentes. Adam Mockler, who I really like, he's a young guy. He's a young man. He's like, I don't know, 22 or some shit. He's been rocking recently with Midas Touch, and he was on CNN, and he said a very similar thing. Check it out.
Can I hop in on the MAGA fracture really quickly? Because one point that I think you missed is that people like Nick Fuentes or this America First movement are now going to be hardcore lobbying to get Marjorie Taylor Greene on their side, which will only accelerate this MAGA divide between a more, I don't know, anti-Israel, a more really populist movement versus now what's kind of becoming like the MAGA establishment, which is weird.
Wait, no, okay, hold on, Adam. You can't call Nick Fuentes an anti-Israel movement. That's not anti-Israel, bro. This is anti-Israel. Nick Fuentes is a fucking Nazi. You don't need to ask me. He'll say it himself. Okay? He'll say it himself. Nick Fuentes fucking hates Jews. It's not about Israel. He hates Jews, and he uses anti-Israel sentiment as like a cloak. You know, like, be so fucking for real, Adam. I know you're on CNN, but you can be so fucking for real.
So Nick Fuentes, he's a legitimate political operator. I know that he's like a hugely divisive dude online, but he is trying to make moves to gain leverage over the Republican Party.
This is true. Nick is not like someone to be trifled with. He genuinely is overtaking the political party. This isn't like a small fish. He's like essentially as large, if not larger, than Charlie Kirk now.
There's a very real chance that he capitalizes on this in such a way that Marjorie is then in his camp. I don't think that would be good for the current MAGA establishment.
I think the fact loose.
No, it wouldn't be. And that's why Trump, I think he was recently asked about Marjorie, and he was like, no, I want her to come back. Check this out from NBC, right? President Donald Trump said Saturday that he would like to see Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene resume her political career at some point, despite their recent falling out. He said to NBC reporters, he goes, it's not going to be easy for her to revive her career in politics. I'd love to see it. I mean, she's got to take a little rest. Yeah, you recognize the power of Nick Fuentes and the Nazis. And also, Trump recently, so he's talking about it, but I do want to point out his fucking outfit. One meeting with Zohran Mamdani, and he's already wearing communist red. He already upgraded his fucking wardrobe. What is this even about? Let's get Zohran on the wall here. Hell yeah! Zohran Mamdani! Zohran Mamdani! Zohran All right, let's watch this.
Are you willing to forgive Congresswoman Taylor Greene?
Forgive for what? No, I just disagreed with her philosophy. She started backing perhaps the worst Republican.
He says forgive her for what? Which again leads me to believe I don't think Trump is the one in control of his Truth Social account, bro, because you're posting about Marjorie Taylor Greene all the time. And the guy goes, would you be willing to forgive Marjorie Taylor Greene? He goes, for what? Forgive her for what? I don't think this motherfucker knows what's going on. I think Dementia Donnie spends all day just like fucking, I don't know, like watching Fox News and who knows, eating fucking Big Macs. I don't know, but I don't think he's actually in charge of this shit.
Republican congressman in our history, just stupid person named Massey, and I said, go your own way. And once I left her, she resigned because she would never have survived a primary. But I think she's a nice person. Okay.
But I think she's a nice person. Meanwhile, we're talking about probably one of the most evil fucking people you'll ever meet. Anyway, listen, thank you for tuning into the Valenti VOD. I'm Chris Valenti. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing and it helps me immensely. It does seem like Dementia Donnie is starting to hit a brick wall. I do think the MAGA movement is ending, but unfortunately, I think it's going to be replaced by the America First movement, which is quite literally the neo-Nazi party in America. Do me one last favor. Click that video right over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers. See ya on Monday.